All right. What we got here is we got a PE teacher's nightmare. Got some dodgeballs here. They've got some big old holes in them. Now this one's not as bad as some I've seen, but balls are expensive. Gotta fix it. So it's always best to find a ball with just a small tear and take care of that while it's small. The bigger ones take a little bit more work, but they're you can still do it. First thing you gotta do, find your worst ball in the worst shape, and then just start tearing it apart. And so what I've done here is I take this little really dull knife and I just kind of go through and I tear the ball away from the skin. And so now if I have a big hole and some of the foam is missing, I just cut some foam out of here and glue it in there. Then I take the skin and I'm going to cut out the size that I need. So I look at this hole right here and it's not going to take too much, so I'll cut out a piece and about this size ought to do it. Now I could just glue this on top and that would do the trick, but kids like to pick at things like that, so what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit more in depth. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a safety pin, poke it right through the middle here, and then I'm going to lift this up and stick this on there right in the middle. I'm going to take a little toothpick or something. I got this from the nurse's office. I'm just going to poke this in through here. Probably going to need to use the other side here. And just got to take a little bit of time, get it in there nice and smooth. Make sure it's right where you want it. Try not to tear a bigger hole while you're working on it. And then kind of use that needle to move it around, get it exactly where you want it, and then stick it in place. Then you want to tug it out a little bit so that it's nice and even. Then all we got to do is get your gloves, because this stuff, this glue will mess your fingers up. Learned that the hard way. And again, got these from the nurse's station. Really helpful. I got this stuff from the hardware store. The guy told me that it works great on leather. He's patched a couple jackets up, stuff like that with it. So I figured might as well work for this. So far, so good. All I really want to do is I can just squirt it right inside of there. And then I'm going to need to move this. Sometimes you'll want, if the hole's big enough, you just want to keep it in there. If you're going to have a product that ends up looking like that, you want to keep that right in the middle. That way it'll stay put while you're gluing it. But since this one's going to get covered up all the way, all we got to do is just put as much glue in there as we can. Just squirt it on in there. Don't worry about using too much. It dries pretty well. And then and that's why we use the gloves. Then all we're going to do is just, if you can see that, I just put some glue in there. Just flatten it down nice and good. Hold it on there for about a minute. This Duco cement, it says that it cures in about 60 seconds. And it's fully usable in about 16 hours. So I just hold it on here for about a minute, and then when that time's up, I got to do a little coat on the outside. and then we should be pretty well fixed up. When about a minute's passed, looks nice and good, nice and smooth. Can't even hardly see where it was. I'm going to put a little bit of this on my sheet of paper here. Just a little post-it note. Just to minimize trash. I'm going to take this little applicator here. All I'm going to do is just go right on top of this tear here and make sure that that does not come open. And feel free to use as much as you want. It's not going to get hard, not going to hurt a kid when it busts them in the face. And just like that, saved your school $25 from not having to go buy a new one. Now, all I gotta do is take care of this other hole on the ball. It's ready to roll. Alright. What we got here is we got a PE teacher's nightmare. Got some dodgeballs here. They've got some big old holes in them. Now this one's not as bad as some I've seen, but balls are expensive. Gotta fix it. So it's always best to find a ball with just a small tear and take care of that while it's small. The bigger ones take a little bit more work, but they're you can still do it. First thing you gotta do, find your worst ball.